do his job. The teacher has a job. The teacher's job is to make sure he makes something clear, he makes something understandable, he understands the student and the level of the student and caters to the needs of the student. That's the teacher's job. What's the student's job? To apply themselves, to exhaust themselves. Allah has already done his part. Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran. He taught it, and he taught it with an incredible, unimaginable amount of rahmah. He already did his part. If I accept that, and I just listen to it and say, Allah, so good, Allah taught the Quran. Okay, I gotta go. Well, you're accepting Allah as you're accepting Allah as teacher in theory, but practically, what does that make you? It makes you and me a student, doesn't it? It makes you and me a student. And we're a student seeking the rahmah of Allah throughout the Quran. Throughout the Quran, we're constantly seeking the rahmah of Allah. And the ultimate rahmah of Allah is His guidance. You know, the ultimate care of a child is the child is protected from harm. And what does guidance do? It protects you from harm. It protects you from things that will hurt you. You know, لو يطيعكم في كثير من الأمر لعنتم. If the Prophet ﷺ was following you in most things, you would all be harmed. He's protecting you from harm. That's what the purpose of guidance is. So the thing that I want to renew in myself, and the thing that I want to encourage you to renew in yourselves, the month in which we celebrate that the Quran came down is coming to an end. But the ending of this month should be the beginning of a true relationship with this book for you and me. And it needs to be a relationship in which I identify myself, I see myself as a student. And I recognize Allah as the most loving, caring, protective, nurturing teacher, Ar-Rahman. If I could just remind myself of that, then I can embark on a journey, and I will know now why I'm doing this. Because I told you, we all have problems, and we all need Allah's rahmah. And one sure, secure, guaranteed way of getting the rahmah of Allah is coming to Ar-Rahman to learn His book, the one He taught, Allam al-Quran. Right? Then the rahmah starts coming our way. The doors of rahmah open up for the one who comes to study Allah's book, to learn Allah's book. This is something you should be doing with your entire family. This is something you should be doing with your friends. This is something you should be doing as a healthy part of your life. This is the last thing I'll share with you for today. You know, there's two things we consume when we eat. There's two things. We consume food, and we sometimes consume medicine. There's a difference though, right? You need food every day. You need nutrition every day, right? But when something goes wrong, and something's going terribly wrong, then you have to intervene, and you need what? Medicine. So there's nutrition and there's medicine. Unfortunately, what's happened in the ummah with its relationship with Allah's book is that the book of Allah has been turned into medicine. When there's a crisis, I'm going to recite, which surah should I recite? When somebody dies, we're going to recite the Quran. When there's a state of emergency, recite some Quran. When there's a problem, recite some Quran. When do we come to a Quran? When there is a problem. When there's a problem, we come to it. But the Quran didn't come just as medicine. It did also come as medicine, but primarily the Quran actually describes itself the way water is described in the Quran, and water is fundamental nutrition for life, isn't it? And you can't say, I'm only going to drink water in a state of emergency. You can't possibly be healthy. You have to consume healthy amounts of nutrition to be able to lead a healthy life, to be able to grow, to be able to sustain, to be able to do what you're going to do. The Quran is our spiritual nutrition. We need to stop treating it like medicine. What we do is we say, okay, I messed up, I got a lot of problems. Ramadan is medical month. Right? We're going to fix all of our problems. We're going to recite a lot of Quran. We're basically treating this like a medical camp where we're going to overdose on medicine and everything's going to be fine. We can go back to an unhealthy diet right afterwards. We have to treat the Quran differently. And we will see, and once we develop this mentality of looking at the Quran, engaging with the Quran for my own benefit, seeking the rahmah of Allah, seeking that nourishment, that my mind needs, my heart needs, my soul needs. I need this nourishment in every way. Once I start doing that, I'm going to see a rahmah of Allah I've never seen before in my life. You're going to see a rahmah of Allah you've never seen before in your life. I guarantee it. That's a guarantee Allah has given in this remarkable surah. On the one hand, He warned people, look, you're dismissing the Quran, there's other ways to deal with you. And on the other hand, exact opposite in the next surah, if you want, forget about being saved from punishment, if you want the greatest rahmah of Allah to descend upon you, come to Allah's word, learn it. Learn it. It's the exact opposite. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who receive the rahmah of Allah in the most special ways, because we are attempting to come closer and closer and closer to His word. And may Allah Azza wa Jal make this a year that is the most special year of our lives in coming closer to Allah's word. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن الحكيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات وذكر الحكيم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.